Emancipation Proclamation declared that as of the date of its issuance, January 1st, 1863, all the slaves in the states that were still in rebellion against the Union would be forever free. All throughout his life, Lincoln had known, as he said, that if slavery were not wrong, nothing was wrong. The problem was, as he saw from the time he was a young lawyer, that the Constitution, in his view, protected slavery in the states where it already existed. So he was in a quandary all through the 1850s and the early 60s. Even within the North, there was not a majority opinion at that time that emancipation should be a goal of the Union. And there was a fear, actually, that soldiers would not fight if it were for emancipation. He finally began, having wrestled with this problem for months, to realize that even if he couldn't get at it through a congressional law, that he could possibly reach slavery through his commander-in-chief powers, his war powers. And what he was able to understand was that the slaves were being used by the Confederates to dig trenches, to build fortifications, as teamsters, as cooks, as hospital attendants, and in all those ways they were helping the Confederate cause and hurting the Northern cause. If he could emancipate the slaves as part of his war powers, as a way of strategically helping the Union win the war, then he could reach at it finally. And he was very happy to have come to that formulation. Lincoln brings his cabinet officers together and he tells them, "I have made a decision about what I am going to tell you. I will listen to your suggestions, perhaps, about timing and minor implementations of it, but the decision is already made." And the one suggestion that most importantly he was willing to accept came from his Secretary of State, Seward, who suggested that if he were to issue the proclamation that July, at a time when they just had these terrible reverses in the field, it would look like an act of desperation and look like perhaps a retreat from the purposes of the war. So instead he said, wait until the eagle of victory comes. And Lincoln thought that was right. He waited until September when Antietam came, the victory that allowed him to issue it without it seeming like an act of desperation.